Alrighty, guys, we are going to go ahead and take another gameplay of quite possibly the best player in the entire world. And we are going to go ahead and watch Chovy play some Lucian today. And maybe this will be the last video in the Lucian guide so far. Maybe it won't be. We'll see. But with how the videos have been doing, it has started to taper off, and maybe it is time to move on to a new champion. In this matchup, we got Lucian versus Galio. Lucian is going to be able to hard bully Galio, so Chovy, being the absolute Chad he is, goes ahead and takes Cole to start. Cole, if you don't know, after you CS 100 minions, you get 300 gold, so it's a free kill after 100 CS. That may sound really good or really bad to you, depending on how good you are at farming, but on this champion, you should really have an easy time farming. Anyways, I'm not going to go as in detail about how this matchup goes, because in general, I'm pretty tired, and the matchup is fairly straightforward. You poke them, and you are really, really strong against them, because you have every advantage in the world. So let's go ahead and see how Chovy is going to take advantage of one of the easiest matchups Lucian could conceivably have. I apologize for that. Technical difficulties. We're just going to go ahead and go back 5 seconds. There we go. So he's just going to go ahead and start pushing him in. Pretty standard start. The Galio isn't even trying to interact with him or do anything to him because he really can't. In your games, Galio very likely will try to interact, and he would usually try to poke him, as he does here. Pokes him again. Just really easy stuff so far. And he's already got a very massive lead, to be honest. Like, this lead is actually gargantuan, all things considered. Nidalee can't really gank him because he just eased the spear. Or he can just dodge it. In general, it's really hard. And he is dropping him to 70% HP already. Worth noting, as you saw the ward just a second ago, when you saw the Nidalee, because we could see the Nidalees on Raptors, he also could check the CS, which would tell him how many camps Nidalee has done. But in this case, it's pretty obvious that it was red to Raptors because she didn't have time to come over to her golems down here. So with this information, when you get to higher ELO, you can know what her clear time would be when she gets to here or to here. And you can kind of figure when you could get ganked and a lot of other things. I believe this is worth mentioning for you guys who are higher ELO and looking for small edges to continue to improve your game. Anyways, he's going to just keep shoving him in and denying his back now. If he shoves him in, he doesn't allow him to go back and doesn't allow him to get any clear good back timing. Pretty standard stuff, all things considered. There's, of course, the line of trying to freeze, but I think it's just correct to shove him in and continue to just abuse the fact that he's so much stronger than him. Interestingly, he takes the second level in Q, but I think that's correct because the spell shield would pretty much negate all the damage, and you shouldn't be able to get a full combo under the turret without taking some sort of turret shot or something along those lines. Anyways, he's slowly building up the wave here. Gonna hit him up every time he comes for CS for the most part. He actually kind of misspaced here. He probably even realizes he misspaced, but essentially he shouldn't be standing over here during this time. Because the Galio was already over here, this is never going to be able to hit him. These distances are just too far apart. So he should have probably just been standing over here. That being said, part of the reason he stands in this pocket over here is because he knows the Nidalee just did this, so the Nidalee has to be on the side of the map somewhere. And by doing so, he is safe on the side, but even so, he should probably get a little closer to like around here, or maybe even like right here, right outside of the turret range. But maybe I'm misremembering the turret range. Who knows? Anyways, let's go ahead and continue. He's going to keep denying him the CS and create a gargantuan lead. It's already 7-22, so he's just about to solo kill range. And this is really just an effective way of actually playing the game also when you're playing Lucian. You don't always have to get kills, you just have to be getting gargantuan CS leads, or at least XP, at least the CS lead or an XP lead. By doing what he's doing right now, he's actually pretty much, yeah, he's up the entire 300 gold already. So he's already solo killed his opponent, essentially, by being up this amount of CS compared to him. And he's done this while denying his opponent all the CS and all this stuff, which is why it equates to a 300 gold lead. And it's absolutely ridiculous. And it's part of what makes him the best player on the world. Anyways, the man has come back into lane. He's trying not to shove the wave in incorrectly so he doesn't get frozen out, most likely. But doing what he's done has at least allowed him to get some CS. I believe Chovy could freeze here, but he might just opt to shove in. I think both options are perfectly valid. Same reason as before. Though I kind of like the freeze option a little more here. But that's probably because I'm a worse player. Anyways, we're just going to keep shoving in. In we go, in we go. He opts to get a ward down. And... it would seem there's a ward here. Maybe he spotted this at some point earlier and I didn't on the minimap. Maybe his awareness is just that much more godlike than mine. I mean, obviously it is. He's a monster. Anyways, more or less the same thing. More shoving in. And this is really something you generally do with Lucian. You generally just shove in a lot. He's pretty annoyed that he got the CS, I'm sure, but it is what it is. It's really not that big of a deal. While he's trying to create the gargantuan lead, sometimes you just can't help but get him to, or let him CS like this. That being said, he's also creating a mana deficiency slowly but surely if the Galio has to keep CSing this way. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get shoved in here again. And he's going to go look for a ward. Most likely just at the edge of this bush. Small note, and just a small tip. As you saw this, his cursor turned a different color to let him know that is the edge of the bush. And you want to be at the edge of this bush because it'll actually catch this entire pathway. If you are on this side, you could actually get snuck up on from, because you only get this amount of vision. Or like to here. So if they hug the wall, they could actually gank you from this side. Which can become important, but it's just a worthwhile note. It's especially important if you're on the Galio side of the map, though. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and get back into lane. Deny this Galio even more. Get the Q in. And this is really just pretty easy work for him at this point. He's having a good time, as you can see down there. He's having a good time. Showing this guy exactly why he's the monster that he is. Pings Mia. I believe Galio might have hit 6, so he's scared of Galio roaming. Yeah. So he pings the Mia immediately, but nothing going here. He sees stuff is happening up in top side. I wonder if he'll try to help. I assume not. Generally on this kind of champion, you can choose to help. But generally, you just want to play for yourself and play for your lane and continuously create a lead. That being said, with no wave here now. So the reason he doesn't go right away is because he still had the wave here, which is about 150 gold guaranteed. And 150 gold guaranteed isn't good compared to this because they could have easily opted to leave. But they've opted to stay and the wave is dead. And this wave coming in, while it's not great, he's going to go even here. And because of how far they've committed this time, he believes he can catch up, I believe. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and get further into this. He's going to watch like a hawk for the most part. And he's going to see just how the fight turned out. And because of how the fight turned out, with them both being dead, he knows he's not going to be able to kill either of those two safely. So he's going to go ahead and opt to push the Galio further out of his lane, collect even more of a mana advantage here, and return to lane and try to continue accumulate himself a gold lead. Kind of an unfortunate circumstance there, but it is what it is. And the Galio is essentially playing how he has to in this sort of matchup. He definitely cannot contest, but people will try to contest all the damn time, and especially in the lower elos, which is why I recommend Lucian for lower elo. People just absolutely have no idea of just how much damage Lucian could do. Hell, I doubt they would even buy steel cap boots right away like this Galio has. Scalio's doing absolutely everything he can to survive the matchup, but that's why this is high Korean solo queue. Now then, he's going to shove in a little bit more. He really wants to get his back in at some point here and get all his items, but he also doesn't want to miss out any XP because he's in absolutely no danger, and he's just passively building a lead. There's basically no worry for him. That being said, he's shoved the wave in, so of course he's going to get his back, like I said. Or like I had meant to say. I've sounded very confusing there, in fact. I apologize. Anyways, we're going to keep going on here. We're going to go ahead and watch him type some things that I'm not going to understand, sadly. We're going to go ahead and return to lane, miss a creep, and collect everything else. And this lead is just really, really gargantuan, and it's just not getting any smaller. So in this video, I think it's actually going to be worthwhile seeing how you carry without getting a massive XP lead, at least in your lane. Classic Korean solo queue, people actually leave up the blue buff and will wait for you no matter what, without any complaining. Lord, how you miss it as a AD carry, or as a mid laner rather. Anyways, he's going to go ahead and poke him up. No worries. Top, unfortunately, is going really bad. Like, his top laner's down about 3 levels already. This is a gargantuanly terrible, terrible situation for the top laner. But we're here to focus on Chovy over here. So, because he knows he's not going to be able to kill this Galio because of how the Galio is played, you notice that he's actually caring a little less about poking him. Ooh, look at that perfect spacing. Oh my goodness, he's going to force him out of lane and shove another wave in. Oh my god. And it's a tank wave, and he could probably shove it in time to actually deny him a tank. Oh my god. And you notice that the way he clears the creeps over here. You notice the way he cleared the creeps was with absolute efficiency. It got all the creeps dead at the same time with 1 Q, which shoved the entire thing under the turrets, which denied the whole wave from the Galio, creating another or even bigger XP and CS disparity between the two. He's a little slow here to actually help with this. He didn't actually help at all. He's taking play for yourself to an even bigger, bigger way than I would say. That being said, it might be because he's also on stream, which actually deteriorates some of your actual skill. Because you're focusing on quite a few things, including chat sometimes. But, you know, whatever it could be, it is. He gets his Gale Force, and he's completed his Cole. And if we take stock, he's just about 50 CS over, so he's 600 gold off that, 300 here, so he's 900 gold up. Just off how he's played the lane alone, without any variance here, because it didn't matter what the Scalio did. This is just how the matchup goes if both players are playing properly. But as you can see, the champion is absolutely ridiculous, and this is just another means of getting a giant lead with him. Now, while I don't think he's OP by any means for solo queue at the moment, he definitely is just a champion that you can really abuse bad players with, because I don't think most players in diamond and or low diamond and below are going to play like this. You might get it in low diamond, but I've seen in my Plats games and my climb up to Plats that no one really respects what you can do on this champion in mid lane. They will walk up to you, let you take 70% of their HP, and they don't care. They don't even think about it. And he uses Gale Force to dodge, and he's going to poke him down again. He's just absolutely giving him hell here. He's going to try to relieve some pressure up in top lane, it would seem. He's decided against it. He found some Raptors to farm. Pretty important note to always dirty farm the side camps if you have time. He's not going to miss anything for this, and he probably opted to do this because he didn't think he could win the topside fight, so he might as well get a bit more gold before going back. Now, in your games, your players might get extremely agitated by this. I know that I've had players literally grief the entire game away over someone doing something on these lines. So I was extra annoyed, and I absolutely lost it, to be honest, and I was tilted for several days just from someone not being able to understand that you should farm that. He decides to help here. This is a perfectly fine decision. They give it over to him, in fact. In general, he felt that this play was probably high probability of success with 3 of them there, which is very fair. He's going to come back to mid. CS all this. Now again here, I would consider actually letting that wave kill his wave off, but he doesn't care and he'll just shove it in again. I guess he just really cares about priority much more than even I do. That being said, he's going to leave. And important note, as we head into the mid game, as I haven't really covered it, you generally don't want to be grouped with your team. You want to always get a solo lane's worth of XP and CS. You do not need to be there. You usually will group for the major fights, of course, or if you believe a pick can happen. But generally, this is how League should be played. And sometimes your team is going to go engage, or they're going to get engaged on, and you're going to get really upset in your lower elo games, which is going to happen, of course. But it is also your job to backping them and do your absolute best to pay attention to the entire map here. And always be trying to shot call and tell them not to do terrible, terrible plays. Alright, that is something that I felt really needed to be noted, since I believe he's going to start shoving bots, but I haven't watched this replay before, so I can't know for sure. Alright, he's going to take the blast cone over, most likely. Yep. This entire time while he does this, he's actually paying attention to his minimap, of course. Something that even I struggle with and many players struggle with. As it's hard to have eyes sometimes. Anyways, he's going to go ahead and CS the blue while he types out some important stuff, most likely. And, yep. Gets that. Going to go ahead and get bot lane now. Which is fine. And like I said, your team's going to get engaged on at times. It's unfortunate, but this should not happen. Like, they should not be allowing this or even getting in a position for this. But Chovy's going to calmly just keep farming it up. He's going to be a monster, of course. And he's going to try to shove stuff in while the Olaf and the Camille try to defend. What's important to note here... Oh, the Renekton. Hold that thought. He's going to solo kill this Renekton. Yep. So let's go ahead and see this again. And I'll note this. And I'll note what I was going to say. So anyways, what I was going to say here, it's very important that he doesn't go back here, because even if he shows up for this, these 3 to 4 members are still going to be able to shove this down. He's never going to make it back in time for this turret. They can then leave this and go do whatever, their own jungles, collect this wave, do whatever. Whatever it may be that they want to do. And he would have gotten 0 gold at the time, instead of getting the 150 there and what the Renekton's going to be, but he can't know about the Renekton for sure. And all the XP and everything else. Now let's go ahead and watch this and note how he plays this fight out. So he face checks the Renekton, sadly. And he immediately autos him, and then E-autos. You know, you gotta remember the combo video, as I've showed before. And so he's getting the max damage here. He Gale Forces immediately after that to dodge him even more, to give him a little more time. Oh, YouTube, please. YouTube, I beg. Okay. Sorry, let's go back. So, as I noted, the Gale Force, he W autos and flashes. So he gets the W auto off. Remember our max damage combos. He realizes he doesn't have the mana to Q, otherwise he most definitely would. So he decides to R him. Oh my god, YouTube. Okay. And he just picks him up. So really important to know all the spacing that he did there to dodge the Renekton as long as he possibly could. to constantly give him time to keep getting damage off. That being said, he won by quite a large margin of HP, but even so, this actually lets him stay for a little longer if he so chooses. So now he's going to probably look for the golems. The golems happen to be up, so he's going to take the golems. And we're going to go on from there. He's going to continue his massive lead. He's got almost 12 CS a minute. Just absolutely ridiculous player. And this is just a really controlled and solid play style that you guys can implement into your games. Like, it's not going to be easy if you have been someone that just tries to be a kill hunter, play ARAMs, and not using common macro ideas that you may not be aware of. But if you guys continue to watch my videos and continue to be here, you're going to continue to learn concepts like this and continue to be given stuff that I believe will help you in the long term for solo queue if you try to implement it. Anyways, we're not ending the video here. We're just going to keep going because I'm very curious how he's going to carry this game. Because for the most part, this is a fairly even state in the game. He's massive, but his Camille is pretty much out of the game. And a behind Camille just really sucks. It never feels good to be behind his Camille. So he's going to go ahead and shove it out some more. Just more or less the same. He doesn't approach here because of how dark the map is, guys. Like, it's really important to note just how dark this part of the map is. By not approaching because of how much vision he doesn't have, he doesn't poke the Galio, yeah. But he also doesn't get flanked around. He doesn't get messed with. He just wants to be really careful. He's being really controlling, even though his champion is aggressive. And it's really important. So he's going to go ahead and give himself some flank wards. Oh, look, he found the Nidalee. He even had the feeling that the Nidalee was coming, I think. Like, this is just some insane awareness that he has. He leaves the bush because he believes the Galio probably will guess that he's in there. Fair guess. And he Gale Forces to dodge everything. Wow. So the E Gale Force to dodge the taunt. If he gets taunted, the Nidalee lands an easy spear, which is going to be terrible for him. He's going for the solo kill now. The Galio is essentially dead based on the HP totals. So the reason he does this now, rather than before, I believe, is because now the Galio is essentially dead based on how the engage happened. And with his Taric here, he knows he can't really be flanked easily. He knows he'll have coverage. Taric also has ulti, so he can dodge Nidalee enough to get the ulti. Additionally, he forces the Galio out of the fight immediately, because if the Galio comes back in, he's going to be one full rotation killed. Rotation being one set of the full damage combo that you can see in the combo video. And yeah, so we're going to continue the shoving. Absolutely no problems here. And we're going to keep going from there. So I'm going to go ahead and speed this up a little because this video is a bit long already. And we'll see where he decides to go. So he decides to do this. His team's getting somewhat engaged on top side. He probably can count the amount of icons from there, but I'm having trouble doing it. I think he's counting 4 or 5. He counted 4. I'm going to guess. And because he did, he's just going to go solo this Galio. This Galio has no place being here. He does so while CSing all the creeps. Just giving himself maximum push time. And this is really feeling like it's becoming a split push guide. And on top of that, his team decided to wipe the enemy team. So I'm going to take a leap of faith and say he's going to farm every part of the jungle here. Or nearly the entire jungle and another wave. Yep, he takes nearly the entire jungle. He would have taken the rest of it if they didn't. And, ooh. Oh, he fumbled it. Ooh, this is really bad. Okay. Let's take note here. So he doesn't have Gale Force here. So he WEs immediately. And then he sees the Rel. And then he starts making the move this way. I think he should move this way. I think that's a longer distance than this. I believe. These lines make me feel like I'm right, but maybe I'm just drawing things incorrectly, because he would have to do something like this. I think he moved the wrong way here. I think he didn't have to die for sure. Additionally, if he goes this way, the ult also becomes easier to spray on the two of them versus these creeps getting in the way. I think this is a bit of a fumble. Yeah, this is unfortunate. Anyways, we don't really... Well, it's important to note that this was just a bad taking here. This is a bad fight. Like, he shouldn't be doing this. And they very well might just... No, they don't have the time to Baron, I don't think. They'll be up in time. Well, maybe not. Maybe they will actually decide to Baron. He's going to go ahead and answer the Scuttle Crab, which is important. They actually got the Baron from what I could tell. So that's a really big throw, to be honest. Okay, we got something going on here. Sorry, I'll back up to see how we got to this situation in the first place. So he runs into him. Ooh. Let's break this combo down. That was nice. So he's going to face check him again on accident. This isn't really something he wants. So he gets W'd by the Renekton. Renekton ults, hits him. He cleanses the W, stun duration, E's immediately. Looking for him. He knows the Renekton's going to E again at him, so he instantly Gale Forces up again. He gets the damage off on him, and now he's going to start chasing back because he believes he can start catching it with the Camille's help. And this TP pretty much stifles the play. With the Camille here, they would have gotten it because the Camille can lock the Renekton in a cage like the zoo animal he is, and the Lucian could just pot shot into him without entering the cage even. Even if he starts to enter the cage, he can just kite him out because the Renekton really has no options left. Alright, so his team's going to start setting up a dragon most likely, and he'll likely try to join him. Yep, just normal stuff here. He's going to CS this. Let's go ahead and watch the setup for this fight. So as we see here, they're going to get control. The enemy team gets control of this, and we have control of this side of the river. He's going to start taking pot shots and collect his blue. The Renekton's looking for a flank on the other side of the map right here, which is a little uncomfortable and unsettling because they could be really bad. The Rel's looking for an engage, which he doesn't manage to. We're trying to finish the Drake. Finish the Drake. And they're going to likely just back off now because there's no reason to take this fight anymore. Well, this team will. Yeah, the red team's going to engage because of the spear hitting specifically, more than anything else. So, a little bit of a fumble again here, sadly, for our nice hero, Mr. Chovy. The team is trying its best to catch up from this, but the fumble was really bad. And, yeah, this blunder is just resulting in a lot of pain for the team overall. He's going to look for a spear. Not quite getting it. They're trying really hard to get a little bit more out of this so they can push easier. But they're not going to manage to. They'll probably get those turrets, and that's about it off that. So, pretty bad mistake and misstep there. Let me go ahead and fast forward because we are here for Chovy. So, he goes up to top lane. Not unexpected. He's going to continue to try to grossly get all the items in the world, of course. He farms both things at once. He eats this. Okay. So as you see, guys, we are 23 minutes into the game. 23 minutes total in. He is 4 items already to the Galio's 3, to Nidalee's 3, to this 3.5, to this 4. Of course, this is 7 kills to 3 kills, so this starts evening it out a bit. These are probably also shutdown goal kills because this CS number is far higher than this. But I'm not going to do the math on that right this second. And you can start to see just how ridiculous the amount of CS he has actually is for him. 4 kills and pretty much half an item worth of gold extra or maybe a third, whatever, is just worth so much. Not only that, you could just note his level. He's 15 to their 13. Like, I don't know the exact gold statistic for this, but it's essentially, he's up another item just about. Ooh, he dodges just barely. Ooh, he got hit this time. Oh no. This Nidalee's been playing really well against them. The Nidalee hit the spear, the second spear that she threw, and ended up catching him out and ending him. Sadly, this is another big blunder, sadly. Damn. This is uncharacteristic from Lord Chovy over here, but it's going to happen from time to time. Alright, let's go ahead and fast forward again. Most likely this is going to result in... Oops. Well, you can actually see where this video is from on the video now. That's fine. Anyways. He spawns. They didn't get too much out of it. So the game's completely within reach, but the more that things go even, the worse it gets, because they could just start stacking armor against them. Which is generally why I don't want to pick Lucian unless I have an APE jungler or top laner. Anyways, he's going to shove in. He's going to match the Renekton to get even more money. And yeah, it's going to be okay, seemingly. He's level 16 now at 25 minutes just about. He's so huge. He's going to come close to solo killing this guy. If this Nidalee wasn't in this game, he would have solo killed him. He still might. Oh my god. His team's going to collect this. Oh, maybe not. Oh, the dodge. Ooh. Will his team clean up for him? It looks like it's going to be, yeah. His team's going to clean up after he does a gorgeous 2v1. He pretty much hard carried the entire thing, and this should result in some turrets, if not Baron. Let's see. Is the team actually going to stack up for it? No, they're not. Up. It's going to be a big contest. It seems the Camille actually got picked off during our fast forwarding. So that's why the enemy team is actually going for it here. He's getting massive amounts of poke in. He's just so big. And look at him. He's actually just going to skate around the entire fight and pick up a lot. Now, with that being said, this is a 4v5, like we said, so it's going to be harder for him. But he's just skating around. He's healing off this. He's going to go look for even more. The Camille's coming in. So they collect that. They're going to keep going. Yeah, they're going to keep going. Now he's not going to anymore because of just the Drake being up, and he doesn't want to give it up to the Renekton just soloing it. He's going to walk up above this so he doesn't have to walk into the Renekton and face check him at all. And he's just going to start doing this. As Lucian, he pretty much knows he can execute this in time. Yeah, he pretty much knows for sure he'll execute in time, because he just knows the timings well enough for all his skills. And he'll burst it down here, yep. So Drake, all the jungle camps once again, and some more rinse and repeat here. So I think it's clear that the takeaways here are the fact that he is always in a solo lane, always getting a lot of free XP. Which isn't required, of course, depending on your game, but is a very guaranteed way to get all your money. And that he takes this ginormous sack of cash that he has, just this big old sack, and he slaps the enemy team upside the face with it constantly. So he goes ahead and buys red pill here, red pot being, or red pill, either one. Being because this Baron fight pretty much decides the game in his mind, so he goes ahead and gets it. Pretty normal things. He's going to CS even more because he wants to complete all his items. But you could just see that it's really unfair that he's just this gargantuan compared to everyone else. He's going to go ahead and poke in. He doesn't want to get caught at all. He's been caught a little too much this game already, as is. He goes for a poke again. He gets it. He collects this for his overshield, and he's looking for the flank here. He sees most of the dangerous members already on the map, and he knows the Galio where he went, so he doesn't have to worry too much. He catches the Galio out, and he instantly has deleted the Galio, essentially. And, oh my god, 70% on the Kaisa. Oh my goodness, he just deletes all of them. This is just what happens when you have, what, an extra 2 items almost? I guess item and a half, probably. He doesn't have an extra 2 items. But when it's glass cannons running into each other, this is pretty much what will happen. And he's like 2 levels up on top of everything else. Is this the game? Yeah, this is the game. Wow. Just absolutely ridiculous. Does he show the damage charts? Give me the damage charts. Come on. Doesn't give me the damage charts. Damn. Yeah, this is 619 Grandmaster Korea. But you guys could just see just how much of a monster this man is. Like, truly, we could just let's just go back to that last. Let's just go back to the last engagement. Even this is about where we're going to start. Yeah. So he could just finish him here, but it's whatever. He doesn't care anymore. The fight's already been won. Everything's over. But if he plays a little cleaner, he would actually have the ult to chase down without getting shot at all here, which would be a little cleaner. This is, of course, solo queue and stream, of course, so sometimes it's going to happen. But this man's just an absolute monster. He really is. Anyways, guys, I'm going to thank you for watching this video. If you made it this far, you obviously must have liked the video. You obviously must have enjoyed yourself. So if you would not mind giving me a like and subscribing, it really helps the channel out and pushes it out to a new audience, which encourages me to keep making these videos and potentially make more certain days a week instead of my once a week current schedule that I'm trying to keep to. Anyways, everyone, thank you so much for watching and have a great day.